Welcome to our interview series. I'm Hollie Whittles, and today we're going to be exploring AI and machine learning and chatbots, hearing how they're revolutionising businesses. Joining us is Lewis Prince, who is an AI MVP, and he is an AI engineer and machine learning developer here at Purple Frog Systems. He has extensive experience, and I'm really looking forward to our conversation on how we can build impactful AI solutions. Welcome, Lewis.
Hi, Ollie.
So let's start with a quick intro. Can you share a little bit about yourself, your background, and how you came into artificial intelligence?
So I've been working in the data industry for about 7 years now, mostly through machine learning and data science. But over the last 4 years, getting a lot more into AI, kind of in line with the advent of AI, ChatGPT coming out, and with Microsoft investing so much money into OpenAI and ChatGPT, it's opened up a lot of avenues for kind of ease of use of AI in the Microsoft landscape. So that's how I've kind of come into it.
So for those that might not be familiar, how would you define machine learning?
So machine learning for me has become a bit of an old-fashioned term. It's always been a branch of AI, but everyone's calling it AI now. So in regard to that, I still think I'm doing a lot of machine learning. It's been a different label on it now. In terms of particularly what it is, it's teaching machines to learn off passive data. So data that's already happened. So a good example of this is kind of instant approval loans you see on TV. So when you see these adverts and they can approve you in 30 seconds, under the hood of that, there is a machine learning system, an AI system, which has been taught on historically if people are given a yes or no to loans, and then giving that to a machine, getting to learn the patterns of when to say yes and when to say no, and then give it new customers wishing to get a loan, and then that machine learning model can say yes or no. Um, this is opposed to more general AI systems, such as understanding speech, like your Siris, your Alexas, or autonomous driving cars like Teslas. Um, there's a very distinct difference, but it's useful to think of all ML is AI, but not all AI is ML.
So what are some of the key differences then between sort of traditional software development, data analytics, machine learning, and artificial intelligence?
Traditional software development, if we think it as specifically giving instructions as to what that software will do. So when we're coding it, say if we code an interface for when you go to McDonald's, that drive-through, it comes up with what you've ordered, how much that will cost, and it's all specifically coded to do a certain job, and it doesn't go around the parameters that you set for it. Um, and then we go to an AI system or a machine learning system, and we're giving it a coded basic set of rules. It has a knowledge base. It kind of knows what its goal is, and we just want to accomplish a task. So it won't explicitly do what we say, but it'll get to an explicit goal. How it gets to there is kind of up to itself within a certain set of parameters. And then going into data analysis, how is that different to work in AI and software development? Um, and data analysis is usually um, thinking about what has happened previously and reporting on that. So from a reporting standpoint, being reactive. And when we bring AI and ML into things, it's using the past, what will happen in the future, predicting what could happen, and being proactive in terms of instead of reacting to maybe a manufacturing line being down, proactively working out when it will be down, how long for, and acting before that could happen to manage that downtime.
So can you talk us through a typical day here at Purple Frog? So what does your role as an AI engineer typically involve?
So my day to day varies a lot, depending on what I have going on at the time. So sometimes I'm dealing with a lot of emails in terms of dealing with client requests, information about kind of AI policy. If I am organising certain talks, I'm about to talk at certain conferences and doing research on those talks. A lot of time going through LinkedIn, news articles, to finding out what has changed that day, any new kind of accomplishment come out, new changes, a new model, a new way of doing things. So a lot of my day is taken up with admin, talking to people about AI, making AI simple for people, and kind of linking AI use cases to business cases and not deep dive into the tech. But then there always is the tech part of it. So apart from that, kind of designing AI systems, building chatbots, creating these predictive systems, make sure they're not biased, make sure they're transparent. So a lot of days are kind of a two-phase kind of thing, where I'm doing a lot of actual admin around the implementation of AI, and then doing the actual implementations.
So machine learning has many different applications. What are the most exciting projects that you've worked on?
So the most exciting projects are usually, I kind of think of two off the top of my head. So in terms of predictive analytics, um, I did some work for a kind of a subscription service, so a service where they have a lot of members. Obviously, the end goal of that is to have as many members as possible paying that subscription monthly, and not have many people leave. So the goal of that project was to identify people who are going to churn, so leave the business, before they actually do, and then, as I said before, proactively send marketing material, try and influence their decision to churn or not. Um, and in terms of a more general AI kind of approach, off the top of my head, it's a project I did recently in terms of using an OpenAI system via Azure OpenAI to send reviews from a customer off their Trustpilot site, negative reviews in particular, to this OpenAI LLM I had provisioned, and get it to give suggested solutions to customer problems, and give summaries to these customer problems as well. So the end goal of this is, if you're a busy CTO, manager, kind of head of communications for a company, you don't want to have to go through a lot of reviews online. You could spend a lot of time also kind of understanding what people are complaining about, what they're not happy about with your business, and then spending time again thinking of what would the solution to that be. So you could instantly go in, just see negative reviews that have been put into this LLM system I've visioned, and then see what the possible solutions have been suggested to you. So kind of give you a kickstart for that process of rectifying public image, to rectify grievances customers may have.
So let's talk about chatbots specifically. How can a business really maximize the impact of having a chatbot?
So when I talk about chatbots, I like to split into external examples, so external use cases, and internal use cases. So when I talk externally, these will be chatbots exposed to the general public, so usually on websites, Facebook, kind of public forums. And the main goal of those is to answer questions about your business. The impact they have there is a lot of time your teams will have customer support functions, and they'll be answering a lot of very similar questions in high quantities for their days. Kind of what does your company do? What are your charging structures? How can I get in contact with you? And these are usually copy and paste answers that your customer support function are answering a vast multiple times a day. And these are answers that a chatbot can answer very easily, very quickly, and with the same level of customer service each time. And what that enables your customer support function to then do is have a lot more time to answer much more complex questions, and have more time to kind of put that effort into satisfying customers with much more complex questions. So what we're really doing there is getting the most out of what you already have, customer service function wise, as well as making their time more efficiently used. And then if we talk about an internal example, I usually give the example of creating a chatbot which is a knowledge source for your business. So it'll be a chatbot that's exposed to your colleagues, your employees within the business, and will be a central knowledge repository. So for example, you could feed in all your IT support policies, HR policies, anything important that you would like to give to your kind of employees, and let them to be self-enabled in terms of gathering knowledge. Going to a HR example, if we fed a load of HR policies into this internal chatbot, someone who may want to know the procedure for raising a grievance, how to raise a holiday request, how to get their expenses reimbursed, they can ask a question of this chatbot, it will give them an answer based on the policies that have been fed into it. But it can also kind of highlight the bits within the HR policy which are of interest to them to answer that specific question. And if they want to go a bit further, you can then get that chatbot to raise a request with the HR function. Again, what this enables us to do is kind of take out the low-level questions that a HR function may be having, or an IT support function may be having, enable them to have more time to give to more complex questions in regard to the HR IT support space. So again, enable them to be much more efficient and accurate with their time.
So what's the role of a consultancy like Purple Frog in helping businesses to adopt AI?
I think the main goal is kind of cut through the mystique, the jargon, um, and a lot of the waffle that you see in the AI space at the moment. If you go on LinkedIn, every other profile is saying something about AI, giving their opinion, saying how it should be done. But there's not as many people who are kind of in the know and come from a space of experience to give that sort of advice. A lot of the time it's giving a helping hand to help these companies know where to start, how to start, the best way to go around doing things. So usually this is coming in and giving them help creating an AI policy in terms of how do they want to go about doing it. Do they have the right people in place? Do they have the right ethos of the business? Do they have the right ambitions? And kind of getting people not to aim too high. So to start small, work fast and aim high. So start with something like a chatbot to gain trust with your business straight away before you go onto a big predictive system or something much more complex. It kind of falls back to a metric at the moment which keeps going around that more than 90% of AI projects at the moment fail. And that's because people are kind of starting from a bad place. They're building on foundations of salt. We need to talk about AI before you actually do it, understand what it can and can't do, cut through the fears, and get most of the time get your company on board. A lot of time it's cutting through the fear that it's there to replace jobs in a business, and it's never going to replace job. As I gave opinions earlier about the chatbot examples, they're allowing people to be more effective in their roles. It's going to cut through that mystique before we put something in place. Customers need to trust AI, so a lot of the work is helping businesses build trust of AI within themselves.
So where can our viewers find out more information about machine learning and AI, or how can they get in touch with us here at Purple Frog if they want to learn more?
So if they go to the Purple Frog Systems website, you can find a wealth of information, flyers, AI do's and don'ts, were created recently, a flyer of free resources we suggest you could use. To get in contact with us on that website, there are links to our readiness assessments, which will show you details of us, as well as giving you information about how ready you are to put AI into use. There are links to our free 1 hour consultancy of an AI, would be myself, my boss, and that's a free, no obligation kind of hour where we talk anything AI, talk about any fears you may have, implementations, how to go about getting to projects, as well as our general contact details, which should be on the bottom of the website, or contacting us at ai@purplefrogsystems.com.
Thank you for your time and insights, Lewis. It's been a really interesting chat. I think there's so many opportunities for machine learning and AI. So our advice is always start small but think big. So please do get in touch with us here at Purple Frog to see how we can help you, and also subscribe to our video series because we're going to be doing a lot more interviews and just sharing tips and knowledge that you can take away and embed in your business. So thank you for listening and see you next time.